Before I start this newscast, I need to put a disclaimer that this story is 100% speculation. Tucker Carlson uploads an explosive interview with Larry Sinclair. Larry Sinclair claims that back in 1999, he smoked crack and had sex with Obama in a limo.
Did he say what he did for a living?
No. I had no idea that he was a representative in the Illinois House. I had no idea he was in politics. I just knew that he was supposedly married and at the time was going through some issues with the marriage.
He said that?
That was made clear, yeah.
Huh. Did he say what kind of issues?
No.
Do you remember? No. So you said, I'm looking for someone to wake up. He knows you're referring to cocaine. I know where to get it. What happens next?
We get back in the limo. The driver takes us wherever it is that Barack had instructed him to take us. I had given Barack $250 to pay for coke. He gets out, comes back. I start putting a line on a CD tray to snort.
And you're in the limo?
Yep.
Driving or parked?
No, the driver's driving.
Yep.
I start to put a line on a CD tray. And I just happened to notice that he pulls something else out of his pocket. And next thing I know, he's got a little pipe and he's smoking. So I don't have an issue with it. I mean, some people smoke, some people snort.
Smoking the cocaine?
Yes. So as I'm doing a line, I just start, this is the part where you kind of make your move to see where things are going. So I just started rubbing my hand along his thigh to see where it was going, and it went the direction I had intended it to go. So the night became somewhat active sexually and drug-wise in the limo.
In 2008, the news media largely ignored the story because Obama's campaign told the media that they would lose all access to Obama during the 2008 election if they asked questions about Larry Sinclair.
You know, I wasn't there. I can only assess what you're saying. I don't see any obvious motive for you for gain, financial gain. You're not going to get rich doing this. And in fact, you haven't. You've gotten impoverished as a result of it. But like if I'm a reporter, well, I was a reporter at the time. I remember thinking, well, that's an interesting story. But it seemed like nobody in the media wanted to follow up with you. And some people like Ben Smith at Politico, who's a liar and a shill posing as a journalist, I reread the piece last night that he wrote saying, oh, it's ridiculous. Right off the first graph, it's ridiculous, these claims.
Well, I think I have an answer for why a lot of reporters did not want to follow up. And I think it would have something to do with what David Axelrod told a old Chicago Sun-Times reporter, a Chicago Tribune reporter, John Crewdson.
Axelrod had been a reporter in Chicago before he went into politics.
Well, John Crewdson worked for the Chicago Tribune. And John Crewdson actually came to Duluth, Minnesota and sat down with me and talked with me. And John Crewdson had told me point blank that before he had flown out, that he had spoken to Axelrod and that Axelrod had told him that they were aware of who I was and that it was their intentions to destroy me and that if any reporter had mentioned me to them, they would be completely cut off and that outlet would be completely cut off from access to the Obama campaign for the duration of the year.
Larry then explained that he made a YouTube video about it and claims that YouTube hacked his account and deleted the video.
January of 2008, after having contacted the campaign yet again, I had decided, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to make a YouTube video and put it up, which I did. It wasn't because I was looking for anything out of it. In fact, if I had even stopped long enough to anticipate the blowback and the consequences of speaking out, me being me, it probably would not have stopped me. It might have slowed me a little bit, but it would not have stopped me. But I figured if you're going to call him out, you can't call him out on part of it. And people said, well, why didn't you just talk about the drug use and leave the sex out? And I said, because if I said he just used drugs and then you found out later it was drugs and sex, you would accuse me of lying because I didn't mention the sex. So my opinion was, if you're going to tell the story, then you tell the whole story and let the chips fall where they may. So that's exactly what I did.
And so you made a YouTube video. By the way, I looked for it last night. I couldn't find it.
That's because YouTube gave access to my account to someone shortly after the polygraph test. And I was never given access back to it before the video was actually deleted.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. YouTube gave access to the account and the video was deleted. Microsoft gave access to my Hotmail account and all of my emails were circulating the internet, and vacation replies were set up on my email telling people that I was busy giving blowjobs and would get back with them when I was done. And oh, yeah.
Man, they wanted Obama to be president.
Yep, and they wanted me to be the biggest fraud and nutcase that ever existed.
Liberals are pissed that Elon Musk is allowing this interview to be on Twitter/X. The irony is that liberals seem to be mad that Obama might be gay or bisexual, which makes no sense because the party is supposed to embrace people who are gay or bisexual. Political commentator Tim Pool pointed out that Tucker Carlson is simply mirroring what the dying press has done to Trump and other conservatives for the past decade, interviewing random people who claim sexual assault and accepting FBI anonymous sources.
The Democrats, the left, and the media in this country entertained the most psychotic lies you could imagine about Brett Kavanaugh. Tucker Carlson is simply engaging in the exact same behavior. Now, I'm no fan of it. I don't care if it's Tucker or anyone else doing it. But I can certainly understand that if you're playing a game, as I described, like Monopoly, and you're watching the opponent cheat over and over again, and you keep just playing by the rules, you're going to lose. This is Tucker Carlson saying, if you can pull cash from the bank in Monopoly, so can I. And that's the game. It's the game that Democrats created. It's the game they wanted to play. It's how we ended up with a lopsided Supreme Court. Democrats wanted to get rid of the nuclear or use the nuclear option so they could steamroll through, and they were warned. If you remove the filibuster, we're going to steamroll in Supreme Court justices, and that's exactly what Donald Trump did. Now they want to play this game. They want to keep playing games they cannot win.
Others are speculating that Tucker Carlson is metaphorically chopping the head off the snake and going after Obama because Michelle Obama might run for president in 2024. Speaking of 2024, Biden's health continues to decline at a rapid rate. The other day, Biden walked out of a Medal of Honor award ceremony before it was over. It seems the president's dementia is getting worse by the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join me for the benediction. Most holy God, we thank you.
Another video of Vice President Kamala Harris emerged, showing her tell a reporter that she is ready to become president.
Well, first of all, I'm answering your hypothetical. But Joe Biden's going to be fine. So that is not going to come to fruition. But let us also understand that every vice president understands that when they take the oath, that they must be very clear about the responsibility they may have to take over the job of being president. I am no different.
Most of America knows that if Kamala Harris becomes president, she would not win a presidential race in 2024. People simply don't like her. That does it for today's newscast. Remember, I'm the fake one. You all are the real ones. Have a fantastic day, and don't forget to eat.